I don't have a microphone. And ever since I got rid of my lawnmower, I don't even have a mic stand.
I'll never forget this. There was a guy above me at drama school who used to say, when you have a big audition for a part that you really want, you should go out and have a crazy night and then turn up to audition right over. You always get the part. I tried that. It never worked.
I can't remember that
I
word.
would just be like, I just want to go to bed, please. And then I kind of changed. Basically, I gave myself permission to care, because there are a lot of people in this world who are afraid of caring, or afraid of showing that they care because it's uncool. It's uncool to have passion.
We're not
so
validating
much
the
easier
market.
to lose when you've shown everyone how much you don't care if you win or lose. It's much harder to lose when you show that you care. But you never win unless you lose substantially. Basically, I've said it before, don't give it passion. Just give it.
That red company out in the backyard.
And
somebody was like the year as a slight down payment not thing.
25. Your arms hanging limp at your side. You won't find a thing to chew.
Caught the sack and gave it to a girl.
Nobody's gonna
started on a bicycle. Well, over there in China, a terrible record was found. She's singing now and having
45.
all around. Now this cat was a terror. They thought it would be the best. Give him to a feller that's going way out west. Train ran around a curve and hit a broken rail.
Pick your daughter too.
Blessed soul aboard that train left to tell the
From
tale.
the bottom, a long glass tube. In a fiberglass boat.
The cat was a possessor of a family all its own.
In a fiberglass boat.
7 little kittens.
Fiberglass boat.
Till there was a cyclone. Blew the houses all apart and tossed the cat around. The air was full of kittens, and not a one was found.
Whoa!
You're listening to Bear Friend Tea Party, the world's only podcast. Jeremy, what's on the program tonight? Well, tonight on the program, segment 1, members of Metallica in order of importance. Segment 2, distinctions between slime, grime, and sludge. Segment 3, bad stuff about the Boy Scouts. And segment 4, Imperial Measurement System in the USA. Honestly, what the fuck? Danny, would you mind not doing that? Well, before we get into segment 1, do you guys want to do listener email corrections and addenda?
Yeah. I do have one correction. In episode 24, last episode, I misspoke when I listed the types of neutrino. I said they were regular, fancy, upside down, and sexual.
Yeah, those are the types of quark.
Yes.
So anyway, on episode 19, a bloody elk carcass stuffed with bonbons, I made reference to the Disembowelment album, Transcendence into the Periphery, and I referred to the band Disembowelment as a sludge metal band.
Yeah, what the fuck?
Yeah, actually going back and the truth is, it had been a while since I had listened to that album, and I think the parts that stuck out in my mind were very slow parts, so I kind of made it into sludge metal in my mind. But really, it's a
grime metal album.
I would say it's doom death.
Yeah, no. Tempo and clarity have nothing to do with whether it. This is a different topic.
That's Danny. You'll have to correct that statement on our next episode's edition of listener email corrections.
Oh yeah, no, you're right.
Oh, but I do have an addenda. Oh, so I do have an addendum.
Okay, let's hear it.
Now this one is real. This is this I was real excited about, and maybe you guys all knew this already. In our last published episode 23, generally confused about this whole turning into a gun thing, we discussed the Transformer Megatron, who transforms into a gun.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And we talked about how retarded that was. But did you know that Megatron doesn't just turn into a gun? Megatron actually turns into a specific model of gun, which is a Walther P-38.
I did not know that.
And the Walther P-38 is a German-manufactured gun that was the standard, like, Nazi sidearm.
I always just assumed it was a generic caricature of what a gun looks like.
So he's a Nazi transformer?
He is apparently a Nazi transformer, yeah, or at least based on a German-manufactured gun from that era, yeah.
I would say he has associations with
At least
Nazism.
his gun form is a Nazi.
Segment 1.
Scene 3, take 600.
Members of Metallica in order of importance.
All right, so this is a very important topic, as you guys know. I, like many of you, am a huge fan of Metallica. Like, I'm sure all of you.
God, this is not my episode.
Mm-hmm. And, I was thinking the other day, what if we were to rank them in order of importance? And then make a podcast.
That's a novel suggestion. Yeah.
So that was the idea that I had.
That's
John,
a pretty interesting origin story we got there.
But, John, can I ask you one thing?
Sure. Yes, please. Ask me 7 things.
Ascending order or descending order?
Well, I would start with most important. Order of
okay, good.
Descending.
That's all I prepared for.
Okay, yeah.
Right.
Okay, in my opinion, the most important is the one guy. The singy one.
Well, okay, so
For some reason.
let's get some ground rules established.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea, or this is just going to descend into chaos.
So, when we talk about importance, are we talking about this? Maybe this is an open question. I thought maybe the group should discuss it.
Right.
Are we talking about importance as far as like Metallica as a musical act, or important as far as Metallica as a business?
That's an important that's a good question.
Right?
I think. Wait, Metallica as a music act or a business?
As a brand name.
Yeah, and I mean, if we're considering their just importance in the world, in the greater world at large, you have to take into account that Kirk Hammett was the governor of Iowa for 2 terms.
Is that true?
Yeah. Yes.
I have a very controversial idea.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, there are 2 of
Sorry,
you.
And
Danny, we're discussing whether we should be considering importance from a musical standpoint or a commercial branding sort of standpoint.
I think that we should consider them in terms of their importance towards Metallica.
Yeah.
on like in a holistic sense, like
Sure.
branding, music, their impact on the band, like who has been most important in defining what Metallica is.
Who's fattest?
Well,
Okay.
No, we're not doing largest member of Metallica.
I think in that event, I would argue that the only legitimate answer would be James Hetfield,
Yeah.
Lars Ulrich,
Yeah.
Kirk Hammett, and the rooster guy.
Robert Trujillo.
Foghorn Leghorn.
And then
Wait.
disagree.
Okay. I strongly disagree. I think, and this is very controversial.
It's definitely not Kirk Hammett.
I think the most important member of Metallica was Dave Mustaine.
Oh, that's a funny little joke.
No, hold the phone though. No,
I will tell you why.
Let's hear him
No,
justify
we're talking about actual
It
members.
doesn't-
No. That's a bullshit answer.
No,
Dave
John, he doesn't just mean that as a joke, because it's not just that, okay, he wasn't in Metallica long enough to record with them, blah, blah, blah. But it's maybe he means that the acrimonious split between the two
Thank you.
are part of what cemented the legacy and the drama, because Metallica has always been about personalities
Sure.
and about...
I think
Well,
also.
I misunderstood the
I
nature of the question then, because I thought we were talking about members of Metallica.
Well, he was a member of Metallica.
Yeah, but not currently. He hasn't been a member.
Well, are we just talking about current lineup?
40 years.
We're just talking about current lineup?
No, we're just talking about current
That's
lineup.
how I interpreted the question.
Yeah, okay. Then in that case, Lars Ulrich, James Hetfield, and no one else is important at all.
That's pretty much true.
No, I think Dave Mustaine, I exaggerate to say he is the most important member of Metallica, but I think that, as I was thinking about this question, and, Dave Mustaine, I feel like the split early on with Dave Mustaine, it's like that really is very, very much a band-defining moment. That's where, like, James Hetfield and Lars Ulrich are basically saying, no, we don't want to be, like, actually hardcore and shit like Dave Mustaine. We can't handle that. We want to just, like, sell out, be like, we want to be a big kind of pop metal phenomenon.
You mean like 9 years after he left? I'm not sure.
I think
I
think it was pretty clear. I think it was.
Takes a while to become a phenomenon.
If you look
Yeah,
back,
I
I think
still
that if
working
you
on it.
Jeremy,
look,
I'm not sure you've heard like euthanasia or Risk or any of the mid
I've
to late
never
90s
listened
Megadeth
to any.
albums.
I have never listened to any Metallica album.
I would associate that.
Now I know that's not true because I secretly played Saint Anger in the car one time.
I don't even consider that to be a Metallica album.
Now see, the fact that you know that it reveals a lot.
If you ask me,
You couldn't even make that joke if you hadn't ever listened to Metallica. You charlatan.
The first Metallica album was Kill 'Em All. The last Metallica album, in my opinion, was Justice for All. And I say that without having ever listened to a Metallica album.
That is a very
Wait, wasn't that post Cliff Burton?
yes.
So
How many members of Metallica have died now? Is it only
One.
Cliff
like
Burton?
80,
One.
81.
81.
Now that's the year they were formed. Now that leads me to
That's
my
spooky.
That leads me to my vote, which I wavered back and forth between Lars Ulrich and James Hetfield, as you do,
Yeah.
because it's really the sort of character foil between the two that keeps them interesting, because they're both incredibly ridiculous caricatures of themselves by now, but they're both in kind of a different way, and they play off of one another. Because like James Hetfield is kind of just like a lucky hick. they can play the guitar okay and can kind of sing a little bit, and it's just kind of like doesn't care whether he's like, yeah, I don't even know, yeah. But Lars
For the
Ulrich is
benefit
like,
of listeners at home, Danny made a very funny face.
but Lars Ulrich is kind of like he's like a maniacal like genius, but kind of like a he's like an imp. He sort of like hops around like I don't know, like a Taco Bell Chihuahua or something. But he's like the brains behind the business. But James Hetfield is like the accidental brains behind their sound. But they're both like narcissistic, controlling assholes. But my answer is Cliff Burton.
Yeah. Yep.
That's what I'm saying. It's
Sure.
the early drama really is what forged them.
Well, and not because not because of his bass playing skills, which fine, he plays the bass, but I really don't understand his deification as a
Rooster.
as a rooster, because I'm going to come back to that, but I mean he played the bass real good, but
Did
I
he?
mean so did Jason Newsted. Sure, he
That's
did.
the other one. I knew there was another one.
You were way behind on this one, Chris.
No,
I
but
didn't do my
seriously,
research.
I really hit it big until Jason Newsted came along. I thought.
well, sure, but if they laid it, you don't hit it big unless you spend several years laying down like a foundation of whatever.
Or you
That's
invented
what
a
we're
genre.
doing now, right?
Yeah, that's the phase of the band we're in right now.
Laying down a foundation of whatever.
I mean, Lars Ulrich has always been about the long con. Yeah, they took their time, getting that shit rolling, like building up
Whatever
some-
it is they built up.
I don't know.
Do you think
No.
he was like secretly investing in Napster? Like, is that the extent of his con?
Probably.
No, I don't
Probably.
think he's not quite that smart. It's like that's like the people that accuse Coca-Cola of deliberately engineering new Coke in order to take it off the market after the negative reception and then boost their sales with
Wheels
Coca-Cola
within
Classic
wheels, Danny.
in a spiral
you'll
array.
notice that Coca-Cola Classic is still the current branding, isn't it?
Well, yeah,
Is it?
no, sure, but
Just yeah. Well, I think it just says Coca-Cola now. I don't know if it says Classic anymore.
I think it
But-
does. But
no.
Does it?
The point is that after they reintroduced Coca-Cola original formula as Coca-Cola Classic, they experienced booming sales, and they were accused of engineering the whole thing.
Are you saying they're going to
Like-
bring back like the original lineup of Metallica, like
Well, actually,
they're going to let Dave Mustaine back?
it's funny you should say that, because at their 30th anniversary concert, which took place over the course of several nights at a relatively intimate club, they did bring take that again. They did bring Dave Mustaine back onto the stage to play some of the Kill 'Em All material.
Really? You
And
know
they-
what would have been awesome is if Dave Mustaine, if they'd like planned that all, and then Dave Mustaine had just been like too much of a drunken wreck, and like had like, which was the original reason they kicked him out of the band.
Well, they were all. I mean, they used to be regionally known as Alcoholica, as the legend goes. But I guess he had his special problems. I guess he had especially large problems. But I think he's been clean for a really long time now. In fact, he's pretty renowned for. Not renowned. He's pretty notorious for embracing like Christian values and other obnoxious non-metal things.
Dave Mustaine.
Oh, really?
Dave, yeah.
Yeah, I guess I buy that.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
that's
mean,
lame.
The little that I've seen of him from like documentaries and stuff.
Documentary.
Seems like a just that one documentary.
That's enough, though. That really is enough to get
it's
inside.
It's plenty. Like James Hetfield is like the dad of the dysfunctional family. Lars Ulrich is
Yeah.
the whiny
Teenage daughter.
mother, and Kirk Hammett is like the ignored child.
What was that one scene where James? One of them is talking about how he feels like nobody's listening to him and all his ideas are being ignored and he's being walked all over or something. And Kirk Hammett just says, "Well, that's like every day for me."
And then they're like, "Shut up, Kirk! Back in your cage."
He's usually in the background, like trying to get their attention.
It's
like
hello.
saying, hey guys, let's just get along. It's okay.
I bought another wah-wah pedal.
What a great fucking band.
No, but
I would actually, I would submit that Kirk Hammett is maybe not as like revolutionary as far as defining their sound as Lars Ulrich is, but he's definitely a better guitarist than
he is a better guitarist than Lars
Ulrich
Ulrich.
is a pretty crappy drummer, if you really want to be honest about it. I mean, he's very identifiable, but he's not very good.
He messes up a lot. But that's okay. I mean, that's not...
He knows, like, maybe 2 different tempos.
Fast and slow. Those are the 2 tempos.
Really, for Metallica, is
it's like loud and quiet.
What do you want, John? Some mid-tempo crap?
I think we got enough of that with the load.
Load. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for setting us up for that one.
You guys really know a lot about Metallica, I have to say.
Fuck me.
So
let's alienate one another.
I feel like, I guess I'm going to defer to you guys because you guys actually know about Metallica.
Well, not every segment has to be funny.
Everybody in BFTP00025.
are gonna fall.
When did I stop recording? Oh, never. Still.
Everything's a little clearer in the light of day. And you know the night's always gonna be here anyway. Well, thinking usually my appetite looking for afternoon light rubbing 6 stones make my spots but the rubbing is getting so excited. Skyrockets on flight. Afternoon delight. Afternoon delight. Afternoon delight. Skyrockets
It's an excellent song.
What song is it? Did you write that, Chris? Did you write that?
What? No.
That's an original Toe Tapper.
Who did write it?
No.
Segment 2.
Segment 2.
Okay, segment 2.
Segment 2, distinctions between slime, grime, and sludge. Yeah, this is one of those topics where we just discuss a
Three
thing
things.
for a while. I have I have some thoughts. I didn't look up the dictionary definitions of any of these things, but I have some opening thoughts if you'd like me to share them.
I'd like to hear them.
Not so much important as the colloquial opinions of them.
Yeah, I mean, I'm very curious over the course of this. This is not about who's right. I'm very curious over the course of this segment to learn what you guys think about slime, grime, and sludge.
Okay, for this segment, there will be no extraneous noise. We're just talking just about this subject. Okay.
This is me talking.
Yeah.
Okay, so should I start off? Should I
Yeah,
go
no,
over,
you should definitely start off.
So
It's your segment.
all right, so here's what I just
segment.
I threw down. Got some thoughts
Should we all be
on
talking?
paper. So let's start with slime. As far as slime goes, my thought was, slime. Slime is a viscous, cohesive, liquidy kind of thing. It's generally fairly homogeneous.
Yeah.
It may or may not be filthy. But I would say a slime, it's more viscous than
Hold on.
just like a standard
Can I
liquid.
interrupt you for a second?
No,
Yes,
let him.
of course.
Apparently so.
Could you give an example of a slime that is not filthy?
Well, I
Honey.
feel like it. You could. I feel like it. Like you could, for instance, in a lab, if you were a chemist, you could make something that we would all agree, like, oh, that's slimy. But
Yeah.
it would be not necessarily
No,
a slime that was derived from
John,
filth.
you may be John.
There are
You
clean
may be
slimes.
for God's
There are clean
Yeah.
slimes. There's like
That's
So
true.
slime is maybe slime is more of a pure viscosity description.
yes.
John-
What about goo?
What about you? May be too
What-
young
what-
to remember the
what about
program. You can't go back. You can't do that on television. The green slime on that program was undeniably slime.
That's filthy slime. That Chris.
No, there was nothing filthy about it. They made it in the studio. It was probably just paint.
Yeah, it's probably totally sanitary. I bet you
Yeah.
can drink it.
But I'm talking about like something that's like clear,
So-
and sort of like snot or well, that's not clean.
Snot is
Now, what
filthy.
else did I have? So then,
Honey. Wait, is honey a slime?
Yeah, there you go.
No, honey, I would say not. But I said
But it
so.
might be slimy.
To continue,
It's too sticky.
No, honey. Yeah, it's too sticky. That's yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
honey
slime
is
isn't
like
sticky.
covered with. Honey is like always full of disgusting bee parts. And
You're
stuff
right. They're
too.
always finding
Anyway,
like
I'd
fuzzy
say
antennas
stingers.
on my toast.
That's where all the fiber is.
So I would say that a slime is more viscous than a liquid or a slurry, but less
John,
viscous.
Can we lose the?
I don't know. That's not extraneous.
But less viscous than a gel or paste. A slime can drip and it can ooze.
Yeah.
And I said I'd say a slime is commonly clear, or kind of an opaque grayish white, or maybe a pale green.
Yeah.
Or neon.
Though
green.
not it could be other colors too. But certainly fancifully it could be a neon green.
Are you
But
saying,
I don't think it's
are you saying
defined
you're not
by
sure?
color.
Would you say you do know or you don't know?
I don't think that color is. I don't know.
No one's
See where you're going. I see where you're
that
going.
was good.
Yeah.
That was good.
That was close.
That was good.
Close.
Our listeners won't get that one.
That was good. I'm just gonna hang on. I've got to drink. I've got to have a sip of water here.
Is water slime?
No, also on that that show, if you said water, they spilled water on you.
Oh,
Water
that's
fell
right.
from the ceiling.
And I want to spit.
Yeah, that show was really stupid.
No, that's
It was.
Consistent.
That show was amazing.
You say water and you get hit with water, but
You just got hit twice, bro.
slime doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, what happened if you said slime? Nothing.
No, you got slime if you said I don't know.
Oh,
I mean, I guess
there
maybe,
it is.
I guess maybe it's just how fundamentally capricious it is.
Wasn't there also
maybe
a word of the day?
No, that's
You're
Pee-wee's
thinking
Playhouse.
of Pee-wee's Playhouse.
Yeah.
I'm always thinking of Pee-wee's.
You're thinking especially hard about these things.
Probably. We should have a word of the day on the podcast.
Yeah, we really should. But who gets to decide it?
Well,
You know
I think we should come up with a randomized process whereby it's a different person each time.
Mm-hmm. So sometimes the word is Jeremy, sometimes the word...
Right. I wonder if there's a way to have a machine do it. That would be pretty awesome.
I don't know.
And then build that machine into an anthropomorphized chair.
That's a good word of the day. Build that machine into a robot. What?
So,
Metallica, I make a shiny.
So, Jeremy, how about Grime?
well, I'd say that Grime is very different. I think Grime is, to me, it's really more of kind of a sticky residue, and Grime is usually something that is built up over time. It's not like...
It's a mnemonic for
Now,
remembering.
here, this is really important, as I was thinking about this.
But it-
Grime...
It sounds just like... Okay, all right.
Go on.
No. He said it's a mnemonic for remembering, but that could fit with either slime or grime.
Slime's...
Yeah, good point.
No, the mnemonic is Grime takes time, but slime takes no time. That's a way to remember it.
Like, I
based
think,
on what
I
they
think
rhyme
if
with.
you,
They're both a crime.
if
that's
you
the
had a
opposite.
surface, if you had a surface that you were always like pouring slime on, then as that slime dried up, you might end up with a grimy surface as a result of that. But
But grime
here's-
is not just like a sticky residue. It's not just sticky.
I think Grime doesn't have to be
I
sticky
think it
at all,
also kind
necessarily.
of has like chunks of things in it.
okay,
So what
I-
would a non-sticky grime be?
I don't think they're...
That might be lint.
let's.
No, rust?
Man, I have all this grime in my belly button.
I agree. I think.
John has a grimy belly button.
Yeah, you could have some little chunks in grime. I don't think they would be
What's
like
this
big.
grime doing in my pocket?
Yeah, I think they're irregular.
No, I think that's
here's
bullshit. That doesn't
here's
make
one
any
thing I wrote down, and I'm curious what you think. I think grime always has to be adhering to some kind of surface.
Okay.
I don't think
Yeah.
you can, like, you could have a bucket of slime or a bucket of sludge, but I don't think you could have a bucket of grime.
You could have some grime in your bucket after you dumped the bucket
Yes.
out. It
Oh,
would be the residue.
absolutely.
No, and see that-
but it would
Yeah.
be on the
Exactly.
surface
Dump out
of
Yeah.
the bucket.
slime, and
Yeah.
then you end up with the
Yeah.
grimy leftovers.
I think grime is always filthy. You can't have clean
I
grime.
think you're right. I think you're right.
Yeah, that's true.
This segment is like a linguist's dream come true.
So just to clarify, Jeremy, do we think it's possible to have clean slime?
Yes.
I do.
Yes.
I think
Yeah.
it's not your standard slime.
Well,
Something
it
you would
also
expect,
depends on how you define
but it could be created under
Clean.
laboratory conditions.
Yeah, like you could
Yeah.
boil some slime.
You could have
And it
sterile slime.
It's not.
It would
wouldn't
be sterile.
grime if it was clean.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay, what about sludge?
I think sludge. Now, sludge is interesting. I think sludge is like a soupy mixture of kind of loosely combined liquid and solid
Yes.
debris. I think it's important with sludge that it's not very homogeneous. There's some big chunks in there. I feel like if you have a bucket of sludge, you can reach your hand into the bucket of sludge and pull out a handful of sludge, and if you squeeze that, what's going to happen is you're going to end up with like some nasty like liquidy stuff is going to come out, and you're going to end up with some solid bits of sludge in your hand. This is distinct from slime. If you take a handful of slime out of your bucket and squeeze it through your fingers, it's all just slime. Some
Yeah.
slime is going to squeeze out. Your
Slime
hand is going to be
slime is more
slimy.
homogeneous.
It's homogeneous.
Yeah,
And
slime
I think
is totally
that's-
homogeneous.
I think sludge is probably filthier than slime, but not as filthy as grime.
All right.
Yeah.
No, I.
Let me ask you a question just to clarify. if you scooped up some slime and it slipped through your fingers and then there was something in there left in your hand, you'd probably say, well, that's not slime. There was some crap in my slime. Am I right?
Yeah,
Whereas-
I think that's true. And I think
I don't
slime
know.
would be a
Whereas,
constituent of
whereas,
sludge.
just let me finish. Whereas, if you did the same thing with a bucket of sludge, and there was something left over in your hand, you'd say, "Man, that's a big old piece of sludge there." Am I correct?
That's
that thinking?
some sludgy shit, maybe. I mean,
Yeah.
a
yeah.
piece
Yeah.
of sludge. I'm not sure if that's.
Yeah, I mean that's just
proper-
kind of like a
But
piece
it's
of.
an element of the sludge that is left over, whereas
But it's sludge.
The other
whereas-
example, it is a interloper in the sludge.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah,
exactly,
that thing was
Jonathan.
slime.
That is exactly my point. I was going to say, like, there could be something left over, but it would be something that is in.
It wouldn't be slime.
in the slime.
Yeah.
It's like there's a big cockroach in the slime.
It's in the slime, but it's not.
Now that would be
of
some
the
filthy slime.
In the cloud.
But it would still be slime. It wouldn't be sludge just because it had a big cockroach dead upside down in it.
What
and
if?
left in your hand after the rest of the slime?
Okay,
dripped
but
through
let
your
me
fingers?
let me ask you this now. Let's say
Okay.
I took some slime, and I
Okay.
also I got a bucket. I got a bucket of slime,
Okay.
and I've also got a big
Okay.
old sack full of cockroaches. And I dump the dead cockroaches into the slime, and then I kind of mash them up, sort of
Yeah.
not liquefied but mashed up.
No, yeah, they become
What
sludge.
what is that? Is
I
that
think
sludge,
you-
or is that just slime with mashed up cockroaches?
No.
I think you are.
Am
I
I
think
making
you are
sludge?
starting to approach sludge there.
No, that's definitely sludge. Especially if you give it some time.
Well, I don't know.
sludge takes time.
I think it depends on how the mixing and maceration process.
No, you're right. But it's just like, yeah, if you have, but the mashing is important because even if you saturate a slime with dead cockroaches, it doesn't never becomes a sludge unless you combine them to a certain degree, but not liquefy
Yeah,
them.
yeah. It's just
like
otherwise it's just a mix of slime and cockroaches. It's
that's something.
It's
that
an
is something we do.
emulsification.
Yes.
I think
Or-
that is a
Would that be a
substance we
colloid?
do not need a word.
But here's another thing: if you sort of,
I'm glad someone brought up colloids.
if you freeze slime and sort of
Right.
start to thaw it, now something that's
Oh.
like sort of like half frozen, half solid can be
Well,
called sludge.
then it's a slimoid.
But you can.
I think that's a slime
distinction, though.
slurry.
Hold on a minute.
It's a slime slurry.
If you have like actually.
If it's solid? No.
No,
it's not a
no, like a snow cone,
Oh,
Like, you can
a
have,
slime
like-
cone.
sludgy.
slime.
You can have
slushy.
if you have ice that is like halfway between ice and water, but it's still got big chunks of ice in it, but it's mostly liquidy. You
Like
could call
shaved
that.
ice?
You could call that sludge, couldn't you?
No, that's a Slurpee.
That's a slurry.
Now, but I'm serious though, because I don't think sludge necessarily has to be filthy. I think 95% of the
think
time it is. But you could say, yeah, this is just sludgy.
I think that I wouldn't. I think you would be hard pressed to create sludge just out of water, even if it was in different mixed phases.
What would you call that then? A
I
slurry?
think you could call that slush.
Slush.
Slush, but not sludge.
Okay, I buy that. That's a good
I
middle
think
ground.
that I think that it's important. The mixture of different things is very important in the sludge, and you're getting there with your mixing up of like frozen and liquid water. But I don't think you can quite get to where people would be like, "Oh, look at that sludge." I mean,
Yeah.
admittedly, we're playing at the margins here.
Well,
I think
let's say,
sludge.
To me, if you throw some dirt in there,
Yeah.
I'm
exactly,
with you. I'm
exactly.
just
That's
sludge.
exactly.
Sludge,
Exactly. That's where I was headed.
sludge has to leave a residue if it's dripping down something.
That is true. That is so
What if
true.
you've got some, like, snow in the street, and it's been driven over, and there's some mud kind of mixed
Sludge.
in with it?
Yeah, I think we're
But
getting
I
to
think-
sludge there.
I think you're getting there. It's not textbook
Sludge or is it
sludge.
slush?
Well,
Fine line.
Does it have
Yeah.
some gravel in it?
For the sake of argument, let's say that it does.
Then yes, it's sludge.
I think we're getting to sludge. I think
is
we're
it-
getting
is it in
to
a-
sludge.
Is it in a bucket?
No, not if you have some slushy ice water and you drop one piece of gravel into it, it's slush that has a piece of gravel in it.
Exactly. Yep.
But at a certain point, you add enough gravel and stir it enough so that it gets gray enough. It becomes sludge, and I don't know if there's an actual tipping point or not.
I think sludge is really much more an emergent kind of property than grime or slime. Sludge is really kind of it's very fuzzy, like where you get to sludge and where go on.
I think you might be able to say the same of grime, but on the tipping point question, I'm inclined to say that this is more of a spectrum. That
I agree.
There's just necessarily gonna be a gray area, and the stuff is probably gray itself. Where you might say, well, maybe it's sludge, maybe it's not. And that's just, in this post-Wittgensteinian world.
Exactly.
Exactly.
That's what Wittgenstein would have said. He would have said,
He would have said, in this post-Wittgensteinian world,
He would have said, segment 3.
yeah. Let's move on.
All right. Segment 3 is bad stuff about the Boy Scouts. This is actually a quiz, but I just kept that title because I like it. As you know,
unrelated
as you
to
guys,
the Boy Scouts.
No, it's related to the Boy Scouts.
Go ahead.
As I think you know, I'm a big supporter of the Boy Scouts of America and their mission, and particularly the merit badges they offer.
Are you talking about their officially stated mission, or many of their...
Both and all. So this is another edition of the Bear Friend Surprise Attack Tea Party Extreme Quiz.
Side land. You can't make me go now. You can't make me go now. You can't make me go now. Not to the heavy side land.
Coming on back. Come on back. Yeah, come on back, no, come on back, yeah, come on back, come on back, come on back.
Cat came back
Johnson
the
had
very next day.
all his own.
The cat
Yellow
came back.
cat
They thought he was
wouldn't
gonna,
leave his home.
but the cat came
Out
back.
every way.
They just couldn't
Leave that
stay
cat away. It took him up to Canada and told him for to stay.
Old
But
Mr. Johnson
came back
had troubles of his
the
own.
next day.
Cats came
Came back.
and wouldn't leave him
Thought
alone.
it was a gunner, but the came back.
The cat
Just couldn't stay away.
The cat said, "Hey, I'm here to
Just
stay."
couldn't stay away. Well, on the telegraph, wild birds were sitting on a bunch. They saw an even number that they'd have him for his lunch. He climbed up softly on the pole till he reached the top. Put a foot on the wire, tied that cat in and not buck out. somebody threw a boot and threw it awful hard.
Heavy side layer.
It hit the cat behind the ear and he thought it was a sight. Some came down, brick, knock, buck. Shit! The cat came back the very next day. Came back. I thought that cat was gonna butt. Back he came. The cat did not want to leave.
Segment 3.
Chris, this is your segment, right?
Yeah. I don't think
wanna-
this will take too long.
No, it shouldn't.
If we can get John's attention.
You have it.
It's been a pretty good segment so far.
Yeah, thank you.
I think I have stopped all my noises now.
There's something going on.
Don't
but-
thank Chris. Thank Farmer Johnson.
Man, we didn't even make a dent in that song. there was like 10 more verses.
Did we sing any verses?
I sang a few from time to time.
I sang
vamped
a couple in my head. I don't know.
Yeah, you. I think at one point, you and I both started singing, but like we were off by about one line.
It sounded really good, that part.
No, but you know
I
what,
assume
Jeremy?
so.
It's going to be, if you and I were off by one line, whoever syncs this up will probably be off by one line in the other direction. So
It's true.
to cancel out.
No, we did that clapping thing.
That was excellent. That was excellent. So, segment 3. This is, you guys know I'm a big supporter of the Boy Scouts of America. My son is a Boy Scout. And
You said that like 20 minutes ago.
yeah, I know. And then we started playing The Cat Came Back for half an hour.
Sorry.
It was necessary.
It was necessary.
Otherwise, we wouldn't have done it.
Yep.
Oh,
Okay,
hang on.
look.
Where's that metronome? Okay,
Wait, can I just listen a sec so you know what we're doing?
Danny, stop using your milk frother on the microphone.
Well, I mean, he had to get the microphone frothy. I love that. I love it when you do that. It won't translate into audio, but
Segment 3.
Exit stage left.
really simple. I'm going to give you a list of 4 merit badges, and you have to choose which one of them is real. Which one is a real merit badge currently offered
Accepted.
by the Boy Scouts of America?
Let's do it.
Who has to choose?
And you can everyone can take part.
But it's really John, right?
Well, you know, it's John, but
John's
you
the
guys
only
can
one
advise him.
I'm
playing
the only
for
one
the
that's going
prize.
to get any.
John's playing for the prize.
Do you
I'm
say
the only one that's
ready?
been a Boy Scout.
Number 1.
When you say take part, do you mean take turns?
No,
I'm just gonna be
can
quiet.
advise. You can advise John.
I was
All right.
lying there. I was never a Boy Scout.
Ready?
And
Number
you
1.
weren't the only one.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Number 1. Come on.
Go.
Number 1.
Let's do it.
Outdoor. Just shut up a second. And
All right. Let's.
Number 1. Outdoorsmanship. Horsemanship. Gunsmanship. And coxswainery.
What was the last one?
is a coxswainery.
I'm gonna have to go with coxswainery.
Incorrect. The actual merit badge is horsemanship.
God damn it.
Number 2.
This game is rigged.
Wait. Are we guessing the one that is real or the one that isn't?
You're guessing
real?
the one that is real.
Oh,
Coxswainery is probably a bad guess.
I thought we were guessing the one that wasn't real.
No.
How dumb?
that's-
How dumb would he have felt if he had not gone with coxswainery and had the answer though?
it would have been embarrassing.
I think I would feel really dumb either way.
Yeah, you want to choose the one that.
That is the purpose of this segment.
Yeah, you want to choose the one that is real.
That's the purpose of our entire podcast, isn't it?
Just
Yes.
Number 2, pulp and paper, mini golf, human beatboxing, or Krav Maga.
Okay.
Ooh.
That's pulp
We're
and
guessing
paper.
the real one or the fake one?
You're guessing the real one.
Well, it's not. Well,
Pulp
today.
and
Today.
paper, mini golf,
I don't think
human
it's mini
beatboxing,
probably-
or Krav Maga.
What is the first one?
It's either
Pulp and paper.
it's either that or Krav Maga.
What is Krav Maga? Is that like Scruff McGruff?
It is an Israeli martial art.
Then it's probably that.
Oh.
It's probably the first one.
Yeah, I like the sound of pulp and paper.
John?
Yeah, I'll go with that.
It's like a concession.
Pulp and paper is correct.
Yeah, exactly. It's a concession that hard-ass outdoorsmen give, like the artsy, intellectual back in the day.
Yeah.
We gotta have one that is something you could do indoors and that someone could really, really do.
I honestly don't know what is involved in the pulp and paper. I just know it exists.
Well, paper's made out of pulp.
That's true.
Wait, so
It sounds like
Chris.
you earned that merit badge.
Well, pulp
your
is
son
pulp
not
is
have
technically pulp is a kind of sludge.
Yeah, it's like a wood sludge.
Yeah.
if your
well,
your
paper-
son is a Boy Scout, shouldn't he have all of these badges?
Well, he's not an
No,
Eagle
he
Scout.
hasn't earned
John.
any merit badges.
So he kind of sucks at being a Boy Scout.
I, T-Lo,
Yes.
am terrible at
Yeah,
being
I
a
think
Boy
I
Scout.
think we can take that as read.
So would you say that paper is actually like a grime that's left from when you have a pulp sludge?
I don't know. Did we decide that grime has to be dirty, has to be filthy? Because paper can
yeah.
be very clean.
I
I
guess.
think that was my assertion.
Yeah, I mean, paper wouldn't be a grime then.
Well, we won't know for sure until we play the podcast back.
What the fuck?
True. Number 3. Churning, small arms fire, dark fantasy, or truck transportation.
Truancy?
No, churning, like butter churning.
Because I bet
Churning.
truancy is a real one,
Truancy, that would probably be one.
right? I mean, I would hope. Boy, I hope this is still recording. I'm gonna go with small arms fire.
Incorrect. Truck
All
transportation.
right. All right, that was fun.
Next one. Dog grooming,
Yeah, that's
vengeance
definitely
and blood feuds,
real. I'm gonna say
not that
dream
one.
stalking,
What was the last one?
dream stalking,
That's real.
or dentistry.
I think it's the first one. What was the first one?
Dog grooming.
Dog grooming sounds good. You think it's dentistry, John?
I think they're all real. No. All right. Well, dog. Whatever.
No,
Dog.
at least one of them is real, right?
Dog.
It's, yeah, one and only one is real.
One to one, as few as one and as many as three are real.
The real one in this case was dentistry.
God damn it!
I know, it seems
How
ridiculous.
is that a merit badge?
It's
So,
a
like-
merit badge.
Boy Scouts are just supposed to practice dentistry.
Apparently, yeah. It might be more dentistry appreciation, I'm not sure.
Oh, yeah, I can see that.
It's just like brushing your teeth.
Well, you should have said dentistry.
Well, it's the badge itself is called dentistry.
All right.
All right, I'll just do a couple more. Okay, Jeremy, try and pitch in on this one.
Okay.
Okay, here we go.
You know, you could have chosen me for the quiz.
Okay, you're on now. You're in the hot seat. Your
Oh,
choices are.
It's me?
Yeah, it's
Have
you.
I been randomly
It's
selected?
you. You have been randomly selected. Your choices are geocaching,
Okay. Yeah, that's it.
geoengineering,
Nope.
cryptogeology,
I don't think so.
or friendship.
It's geocaching.
Correct. It is geocaching.
Next.
Next, your choices are witty repartee,
No.
cleanliness and sanitation,
Oh, that's it.
Maybe.
That's gotta
Maybe.
be
mind control,
No.
or pets.
I still think
gonna
it's
go-
cleanliness.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with cleanliness and sanitation.
The correct answer is pets.
Damn.
Well,
Bizarre,
you know what?
huh?
That was a bad beat. I felt like
All right.
Those were both
I feel
plausible.
pretty good about
Yeah, they were both reasonable guesses. All right, your choices are carpentry, Indian lore, voodoo skills, or crime scene investigation.
Crime scene investigation.
Indian what?
Indian lore.
I think it.
Well,
I think it's crime scene investigation. Yep. I've heard that they do things like that with kids now.
Kids love crime scene investigation.
Yeah.
They like that
seems
blood
a little,
splatter thing.
Yeah, that seems kind of ridiculous.
Which do you think
Well,
it is then?
okay, so like to get that merit badge, you would have to like actually attend crime scenes. That seems kind of irresponsible.
I would
No,
think so.
they I think they'd just do some dumb like kind of sanitized activity where you like learn about fingerprints or something.
Jeremy, you're thinking of the Cub Scouts.
I'm leaning towards that other one that I already forgot.
I forgot the other. The only one I can remember is crime scene investigation. So I think that has to be my answer.
Chris, what was the other reasonable answer?
Your other choices are carpentry, Indian lore, and voodoo skills.
I forgot about
Carpentry. That's just carpentry's just
You
that's
think,
ridiculous.
you think that's a red herring? I think I thought it was Indian lore.
Let's go with Indian lore.
You're correct. Indian lore. I'm
nice.
impressed
Nice
that
save,
I'm impressed
John.
that neither of you fell for carpentry.
It's too obvious.
Yeah. Okay, this is the last one.
Carpentry
It's
is
finally
too broad, I feel like.
it's finally picking up now that I'm to the
Well, now
last
you,
one.
you can go back to some of the other ones now.
You
and we
know
can edit
which
out
ones
that
are-
first.
Okay, last one.
All right.
Your choices are iron working,
Horsemanship.
loan sharking, fire walking, and space exploration.
What was the first one? It was ironworking.
Iron
Loan
working,
sharking.
loan sharking, fire walking, and space exploration.
Well, it's clearly ironworking.
I could be space exploration.
Talk
think?
it out.
I'm going with space exploration. I think ironworking is a. I think that's another.
The red herring.
Like we're supposed to go with that one.
Space exploration.
just-
so, like, do you think it's just like the study of like the history of space exploration?
I think they just. You probably like fuck with a telescope. Maybe you go and like do some dumb like things. You know.
That sounds like every merit badge.
I don't know. I mean, I think if you're just futzing around with a telescope, it ought to
mean-
be called astronomy or something. Some bullshit.
Yeah, that's a good point. What were the other three, Chris?
Iron working, loan
Yeah.
sharking, fire walking, and space exploration.
What do you think about loan sharking?
You think that might actually be the right answer?
As
mean-
an activity or as a merit badge?
As a merit badge.
And the correct answer was space exploration.
Oh, it was space exploration?
Yeah, space exploration is a real merit badge. That is, as of right now, Tilo has been in the Boy Scouts for about 3 or 4 weeks, and that's the only merit badge he has earned.
Are the Boy
Oh, he
Scouts
did-
still like a horrible organization?
I'd say they're largely horrible. One of his friends joined, and I didn't really want him to join because it would involve more work for me. Like, I have to go to the meetings and shit, and I didn't want to do
Right.
that. But you can't, like, tell your son he's not allowed to join the Boy Scouts. I mean, that seemed weird, and that
Sure.
would just encourage him to join them more.
Right. You just drive
So
him
we,
right
like-
into the arms of those Boy Scouts.
Yeah, so we took him to the meeting, and we hoped he would think it was really boring, because it was really boring. And he did think it was boring, but he still wanted to go because his stupid friend is going.
So your son has friends.
Yeah, I know, right?
I'm excited. That's great.
It's
for him.
ridiculous.
It's not
Too bad they're
ridiculous.
Boy Scouts.
No,
I
it's
know.
great. It's good. It's good. To have friends.
But I'll tell you where
don't
we
know.
went with the Boy Scouts. We went to the Kansas Cosmosphere. You should check that shit out.
The Kansas Cosmos sphere?
Cosmosphere. Yeah, it's in Hutchinson, Kansas. They've got a Sputnik.
I thought they hated the cosmos there.
That's why they keep it in a sphere. They keep it contained.
Sure.
And then they just come and glare at it.
We seem to.
How do you like it in there?
We seem to have gone off on a tangent here.
Well, segment 4 was supposed to be Imperial Measurement System in the USA. Honestly, what in the fuck? Danny has been texting me about it since he dropped off.
Well, perhaps
are any of his texts
you should
hilarious?
share them with us.
Let's see.
Or are they just
you have to read them in his voice.
read them in a dog voice.
Which should I
It'll
do?
be a dog voice.
I'm not going to do both.
Surprise us.
Dog voice.
I forget it. I'm just not. This is too much pressure.
Okay, text them to me, and I will read them in a dog voice. You send them to me, and I'll read them in a dog voice.
A short time later.
Okay, Danny Gibson.
But the U.S. not adopting a metric system is bullshit. There are literally
start
only
at the
two to
start at the beginning. Start at the beginning.
I was just starting at the top. Oh, okay, I gotta.
There are literally only 2 to 3 other countries in the entire actual real world besides USA who have not. Most of those are seriously considering it. Ooh. So what is it about us? Woof? Some type
you need to use more R's. You need to use more.
Some type of bizarre misplaced rinse of rational pride? We have 10 fucking fingers, you know? 6 mins via Google Voice. Are you coming back? Rough.
Oh, that was me.
2 mins via Google Voice.
J.Mullis.
All right, let's end this.
We seem to have trouble editing recently. For the sake of whoever's editing, let's try not to say shit that we don't want in the podcast.
Wait, you think that's the reason that we've had trouble editing?
John, I thought you guys
John,
just weren't doing
podcast.
it.
Yeah.
That's not Jeremy, that's not going to go on the podcast.
Danny, that's not going to go
in the podcast.
You guys, I'm editing this. This is all going in the podcast.
There's your opening right there.